guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about how we got through our 2-year-old's sleep regression. So let's get started. So right off the top, I want to say I am no expert on sleep regressions. I have one child and I've gone through the 2-year-old sleep regression one time, but it is enough that I feel like I have a little bit of tips and tricks to hopefully help you guys. So I'm going to kind of break it down into 3 sections. Jacob had 3 different things that he would do with his sleep regression. One, he was coming out of his room multiple times after we said goodnight to him. So before he's really asleep, he would come out of his room probably like 8 or 9 times. And then in the middle of the night, same thing, he was coming out of his room probably 9 times, probably at least 9 times. And then another thing that he would do is he would wake up super early, like 5:45ish, and think that it was ready for him to start the day. So I'm just gonna, like I said, break it down into 3 sections. Number 1, how to deal with your child after you've put them to bed, coming out of their room 100 times before they've actually fallen asleep. So the things that I would say with this, and probably with most of them, is the fact that consistency is key and trying to stay calm is key. I know that at the 8th time or the 9th time or the 10th time that they've done it, it is really frustrating and it's really hard to like keep your calm. But one thing that really helped me with that is I didn't talk to him. I wasn't trying to reason with him. It was nighttime, and unless he had a specific thing to say to me, like he had to use the potty or something, I basically would just scoop him up, hug him in, give him a kiss, don't say anything to him, and lay him in bed, cover him back up, and walk out. And I would just repeat and repeat and repeat this. The other thing that I would do that I think really helped is I slowly got closer and closer to the door. So by maybe the 8th time or the last time that he was coming out, I'm literally standing outside of his door waiting for him to open up his door so that I can scoop him up. Of course, he's not going to be happy with you. He's going to probably protest because he doesn't want to go to bed. But eventually he will realize that it's not playtime. You're not getting up. Mommy will literally stand here and scoop you up every time you walk out and lay you back in bed. You're not getting away with anything. So keeping in mind that you're just going to have to really stay consistent and firm. Another tip that I would have for you, this will hopefully help you get through it, is doing all of the little things that he might want right before bed. So making sure he's got water, making sure he's full, making sure he doesn't have to use the bathroom, all of that sort of stuff. Now, they might still come out and say they want water, or they might still come out and say they want whatever, or they have to go potty or whatever. Obviously potty, you're going to take them potty, but keeping in mind that like anything you do is going to create a habit. So if you start giving them water, they're going to come out every night wanting water because they know that if they ask for it, you'll give it to them and they can procrastinate. So if you make sure that they have a nice big gulp of water right before they go to bed, make sure that they don't want any more, ask, is this all you want? Because no more water. So if they come out, you can say, no, we already had our water, sorry, scoop them up, put them back in bed. So again, staying consistent with what you want to do and trying not to create new habits. As for them coming out multiple times in the middle of the night, this one is more tricky to kind of stay calm. This one's more tricky to sort of have, consistent demeanor and calm demeanor about it because you're exhausted. You just want to sleep and you want them to sleep. But again, consistency is key. Scooping them up, depending on how they're reacting. Are they scream crying? They might be having a nightmare. Make sure that they know that you're there for them. Kisses, cuddles, mommy loves you. Get them to the point where they're calm and then lay them back down and walk out. And you're just going to continue that. If they're freaking out, make sure they're calm before you lay them down. If you lay them down and they start freaking out, still walk out if you are comfortable with that. Remembering again that this is going to create any habit. So if you are choosing to pick them up and snuggle them, or snuggle them until they fall asleep, or lay in their bed with them, or let them lay in bed with you, all of this is going to create habits. So if you're okay creating that habit, then do that. That's totally fine. But if you don't want to create that habit, you need to stay firm in just picking them up, laying them down, showing them that you love them, and continuing on each time they wake up. Another tip that I would have is if you are with your spouse or whoever is living with you, helping you with your kid, get them to kind of do half time of the wake ups. You can either schedule that, so like I would wake up from 12 to 4 and my husband would wake up from 4 to 8, or you can do it like every other time that the kid wakes up, or one of you can do it one night and one you can do it the next night, whatever works for you. But just really make sure that if you are exhausting yourself, that you take a little bit of the initiative and say like, look, I need some help, and talk to whoever is there to sort of help you. If you are on your own, again, just try to stay calm, and the next morning, the next day when they're napping, try to take a nap and kind of refresh on that lack of sleep. And my last tip for this one is the fact that, like, remember that it isn't going to be a permanent thing. You will get sleep again. This is just a regression. They will figure it out and they'll start sleeping again. So on to the third one. If your child is waking up really early, whether that be like, I know some kids wake up at like 3:30 and think it's time to wake up. I know some kids wake up like Jacob was saying about, 5:45. So depending on when they wake up, you're going to treat it the same. It doesn't matter. Basically, they are going to contest. They think it is time to wake up for the day. They are done sleeping. You are not, neither are they. It is the middle of the night. It is time to still be sleeping. Again, if you want to get up at 5:45 and you think that that's okay, totally do it. It's not a big deal. But remember that you are creating habits. It only takes a few days for them to really solidify that and have a habit built. So keeping that in mind. What I will say, again, consistency and staying calm is key, because they are going to freak out at this point. This is going to be one of the times that's going to be really tough, because they're going to fight you on it. They're not going to want to go back to bed. If they are, that's a middle of the night wake up. That's not a morning time wake up. So keeping that in mind. One other thing that really helped us is we have our Grow clock. If you do not know what this clock is, I did have a review on it, so I will have it linked down below or in the iCard up there for you guys to check out. But basically it's just a clock that tells them when it's nighttime and when it's daytime, just based on a color. So with Jacob, what I would do is I'd scoop him up just like I would do every other time. I'd give him a snuggle and I would say to him, buddy, it's still nights. And he would contest, and I would say, what color is your light? And normally he'll answer me. Sometimes if he's really ticked off, he will not. And so I'd be like, your light is blue, that means bed. Now again, I didn't want to spend a lot of time with him. I wanted to give him his kiss, reassure him, let him know it's still night, lay him down, and then leave. He's going to get up probably a dozen times. It's probably going to last until you want to get up with him. So we have our Grow clock set at 7 o'clock. There was days where literally he'd wake up at 5:45, and every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes or every, 20 minutes, I was waking up and having to take him back to his room and lay down. So scooping him up, laying him down, repeating that his light is blue. But you are creating a habit. You are telling them that they are not allowed to get out of bed. So after the 2 weeks of Jacob having the sleep regression, he wasn't thinking that 5:45 was time to wake up. He knew that if he wakes up before his clock is yellow, I'm putting him back in bed. That clock really helped us. Something like that. I know you don't have to do that like something so fancy. You can get like a night light that comes on, or like my mother-in-law used to use a radio that she would set so that there would be music playing when the kid was allowed to get up. It's whatever you want to do, but just something to help them understand what is night and what is day. Because with, switch in times, like the time change, and with the sun coming out earlier and going to bed later now and stuff, it is really tough for these little guys to try to figure out what the actual schedule is, because they see sun or the light outside, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that is what is happening on the inside, because they don't know time, right? So anyway, guys, I hope that these tips helped. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, or if you know of any other tips that you have for any of you guys out there. Comment them down below. Help each other out, because the 2-year-old sleep regression can be a huge one, and it is really tough to get through. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in my next one. Bye.